You alright guys, hope you're all doing good. First video on YouTube, awkward as fuck speaking to the camera, so bear with me. I'm not quite sure what this channel is going to be yet, but I know it's going to be centered around sports, picking fights, picking football bets, maybe some fantasy football stuff in there as well. Let's just see what people are interested in, if they're interested at all. But yeah, it's something I've been wanting to do for a while, so I just thought, why not start now? Especially when it comes to fighting, I think I've got quite a good insight into things, seeing as I used to fight professionally and I'm a BJJ black belt as well, so I just thought I'd give it a go. I do alright on the bets myself when I'm picking them, so I thought I'd share some of them with you as well. So yeah, so for UFC 311, I'm going to use Tapology to go through the fights, have a look at them. You have to bear with me because I don't really know all the fighters these days. There's so many fighters on the roster, and it's hard to keep track and keep up with every fight, especially when I'm doing all my own stuff as well. But I'll give you an insight to what I look at when I'm looking to put on bets, and just things I look for, and you can get some good underdog picks with it as well then. So this video is not going to be edited fancy and all that kind of stuff. Maybe I'll do that in the future, but for now I just thought I keep putting it off and putting it off. I'll just get the first one out there and then just see where it takes us, you know what I mean? I'm not looking for, I'm not looking for it to be like make mega money off it or anything like that. Just see what people are interested in. Maybe they're interested in what I've got to give. So anyway, that's a long introduction. It took me about 500 attempts, so if you're seeing this, I'll probably fucking cut this out now, to be honest. Anyway, so first fight on the card, you got a flyweight fight. Tagir Ulanbekov versus Clayton Carpenter. Now, I don't really know much about Clayton Carpenter or Tagir, but I know that Tagir trains with Habib, and that's something that counts for something. The camps, what the guys train at, to me, counts for something. So if they're from a really good camp, then chances are, you know what I mean, they're ready, because Habib ain't going to be putting out his name to shit fighters. So he's only lost to Tim Elliott in the UFC. He's going to have a good wrestling base. So we'll go to the other guy. We've got Clayton Carpenter. He's from the lab, also a decent gym. He was signed pretty early on in his pro career to UFC, so he must have had some hype behind him before going to Contender Series, because I think it was 5-0 before his Contender Series fight. Well, I guess they're going early now on Contender Series these days. They're getting them on early in their career. So he's not fought anyone mega experienced up until his last fight against Lucas Rocha. So what I do is I look at the last opponents and I'll see how legit their records are as well, and what promotions they fought on. And then you get kind of a bit of an insight then into whether they're going to be decent, or if they just fucking can crush their way into UFC. I know it's hard to do that, but these Brazilians and that get away with it a bit more. So that Lucas Rocha looks alright, and he really could chokes him. So he's going to have good grappling, Clayton Carpenter in it, but he's going up against a good grappler as well. It's hard to pick fights like this. You know what I mean? You can have a punt, but they're both from good gyms. They both seem pretty legit. Well, they both are legit. Even this Clayton Carpenter, even though he's young in his career, he's just beat a 17-1 guy, so he's decent, you know what I mean? Obviously they're fucking decent, they're in UFC, but for UFC standard, I'm not talking about this in general standard, you know what I mean? UFC standard is going to be alright if he's beating 17-1 guys, who also has been fighting decent level competition. So Tagir Ulanbekov versus Clayton Carpenter. one of those, you don't know if I'm not 100%, but I'll go with Tagir just because I fancy he's from a better gym. Well, not a better gym, but a better team at the minute, especially on this card, you know. They're all going to be training very good. Fucking very good. Anyway, let's move on so I can get through fast, because the fucking fight's about to be over by the time I get this video up. So, Bogdan Guskov versus Billy Lekana. Don't even know any of them. 16-3 versus 7-1. I fucking skipped about 5 fights here. What the fuck? Cut. Ricky fucking pronouncing these names, man. Yeah, that fucking Bruce Buffer. Ricky Tercios versus Bernardo Sopaj. 12-4 versus 11-3. Ricky Tercios, seen a few of his fights, seen him on Ultimate Fighter. Game fighter, but got a bit of a mixed record. And I think he's quite a bit older than Bernardo Sopaj. Bernardo Sopaj trains at All Stars from Sweden. Fought on some decent shows, fought on Brave, you know, getting cans on the FCR in Sweden. Fought on that myself, that's a good show. Yeah, so he's had some good level fights. He's only 24, so probably getting UFC probably want to build him up a little bit, and that counts for something as well. I feel like the people the UFC want to push on a little bit are going to get more favourable matchups, and they're going to try to, you know, give him a little bit of the rub. So I'm going to go Bernardo Sopaj on that one. Next fight, Rinu Nakamura versus Gafarov. 9-0 versus 19-6. Seen that Gafarov fight before. He's pretty decent. 19-6 against 9-0 though. Nakamura, obviously a high level wrestler coming into MMA. Like I was just saying for the last fight, UFC are probably going to want to push him a little bit, especially because you can see they're giving more of an effort into the Japanese market as well. Last fight against 11-3, 10-3, 10-2. He's had quite a few fights now in UFC, hasn't he? So established. Let's have a little quick look at Gafarov's. My fucking internet was absolutely shite. It's going to be a pretty wrestling heavy fight, this. So you go with a high level wrestler, right? Yeah, I've seen that. I remember Gafarov, he's had some fights always looked alright in stand up, but not super clean, if I remember right. He just got power on it. He got power, but this Japanese guy's not been finished before, so give him the benefit of the doubt. So for Rinu Nakamura, Gafarov, I'm going to go with the better wrestler in, who I think is probably the better wrestler in Nakamura. So yeah, next fight, Carol Rosa versus Aylin Perez. I don't usually bet on women's fights, to be honest. Not because I'm sexist, but it's just hard, innit? It's hard to... when I have bet on the women's fights before, they're the ones that let markers down and stuff like that, because it's just hard to predict it's hard to judge the level. So I'm just going to stay away from the girl fights for now anyway, unless I look more into them. Grant Dawson versus Diego Ferreira. It's both decent fighters, I know. Diego Ferreira's fought some tough guys and he's been around for quite a while. Grant Dawson's obviously a really good grappler. He got finished by Bobby Green, didn't he? By the punch. So, yeah, anyway, back into it. We got Diego Ferreira. And he's got last fight. Fought some guy, I don't know, 19-1 though. Won that. Michael Johnson beat him. Lost to Gamrot. Gamrot's decent. Gillespie, fucking hell, we're going back now, aren't we? That was a while ago. And Dariush, so he's beat some good names before that as well. He's been around for time, hasn't he? And he's only really lost to high level opponents, so You know, he's decent. This is the opportunity where you start getting to make some money when you're going for these underdogs. You know, when you're putting these on your accumulators and stuff like that. These are the fights that will make you money if you go with someone like that. Grant Dawson, American Top Team. Obviously, really good. I've seen a lot of his fights. He's only lost to Bobby Green in the UFC, and that was he just got caught, didn't he? That can happen to anyone, especially when you're fighting at this level. So it's hard, isn't it? It's hard to go against him. He's beat some alright guys in there as well. It's hard to go against him. He has been chinned though, so that'll stay with you a little bit. But he's could bounce back from that. He's got 2 wins since then against not the biggest names, but decent records. That Joe Slicker was on last weekend, wasn't he? He didn't look great, but it's a tough one to pick, this, isn't it? But if you look at the odds, and I'll go on look at the odds now. Grant Dawson's obviously the favourite. You're pretty much getting 2 to 1 on Diego Ferreira, so one potentially you could be picking for your underdog. But it's hard to go against Grant Dawson, isn't it? So yeah, I'll probably stay away from that one unless I'm gonna go with the underdog. But then they're the fucking ones that'll let you down, innit, and let your hacker down. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. So unsure on that one. You don't have to pick them all, do you? You're not gonna put every single fight on. So ones like that where you're a little unsure, doesn't stay away from it, or you're getting good money on 2 to 1, you're getting good odds. Have a little bet on. I usually put a little side accumulator on anyway with my underdogs, so I'll leave that off on 1, and then I'll put that on an underdog ACCA with just the underdogs on it. So next fight, Bogdan Guskov versus Billy Alekana. Don't know any of them. Decent record, 16-3 versus 7-1. So Gore MMA, never heard of it. He just beat Ryan Spann. Is that Puga? They were alright, and them 2 last wins. Lost against Volkan. So not a terrible loss. Fighting on Brave before that, decent. Looks good. Passes the eye test. And we've got Bielakana, less experience for starters. Uprising MMA Training Centre. I should probably go into it and look at the coaches and stuff as well, because just because you're not heard of the gym doesn't mean it's a shit gym. I'm just not as familiar with it, so next videos I'll look into it a little bit more and get a bit more in depth for you. But I'm just, like I say, fights are going to be finished by the time I get this up. So I'm just going to zoom through it now, so I get my first video out of the way. I'm fucking foot in the door then. Doesn't look great though. Fought on PFL, but not against mega experienced guys. He only got a split decision against that Chuck Campbell I've seen him fight on Cage Warriors, and I didn't really think very highly. Well, I'm not saying this shit, you know what I mean? I just, for the level of the UFC, he's obviously good. But yeah, Chuck Campbell didn't look like a UFC level guy to me, and he took this guy to a split decision on PFL. As if I just better fucking check on her. I might be chatting shit. Oh, it is him. So yeah, it looks like I'm gonna go with Bogdan on that one. So Bogdan Guskov versus Billy Alekana. I'm gonna go with Bogdan Guskov. Looks like he's fought the better guys on the better guys. They both on decent shows, but yeah, he's beat more experienced guys. So I'm gonna go with him. Next fight, Zach Reese versus Azamat Bikoev. Don't know any of them. Let's go into it. War Training Centre. Who's that? That rings a bell. Let me have a look. No, guess not. I was wrong. So anyway, last fight, Jose Medina. Fuck me, UFC's changed so much. Back in the day, I knew every single fight. I'd watch every fight. Obviously, it's hard to keep up with these days, so a lot of these fighters, you probably think I'm a fucking casual. I guess I am these days. Lost to Cody Bundage, got slammed. He's beat some guys though. Got a decent record. Had a few wins in UFC. Well, 2 in the Contender Series. Let's have a look at the other guy. American Top Team. He's not fought in the UFC yet. It's his UFC debut, but he's fought in LFA. I know that's kind of like the American Cage Warriors, isn't it? Looks like he beat some decent guys on there. But first fight in the UFC, will it affect him? 29. Another one, don't know enough about him on this one. Probably stay away from that one. Next fight, Peyton Talbot, Hannibal Barcelos. And with ones like this where I probably think it's Peyton Talbot going to win, but I know the odds. Let me just check the odds again. It's like 1 to 14. So you have to put 14 quid on for win 1 quid. I don't bet on. What's the point? 12 to 1, so it's come down a bit. Still not going near it for 12 to 1. What's the point? You're not going to win anything unless you went the other way, but don't see it. Like I was saying earlier, UFC are pushing this Peyton Talbot. Well, UFC want to push this guy, Peyton Talbot, so I'm going to go with him on that one. Next fight, Kevin Holland versus Derrida. So 2 fighters I know a little bit more about. And I think Derrida's going to get this done. Kevin Holland's good, but I don't know. I think he's inconsistent, isn't he? He's just too inconsistent. There's no consistency there. He could come out and win, and I wouldn't be surprised if he just went out and he caught Derrida and knocked him out, but you can't bet on inconsistency. You got to go with the person who's more consistent. He's only lost to the same guy twice, Derrida, and one, and he was on a tour, wasn't he? Consistency, so I'm going to go with consistency there and go with Derrida. Next fight, Jailton Almeida versus Sergey Spivak. So I've looked at this one already, and my initial thought, well, this is another one where I think the underdog will get an upset. Jailton Almeida, 21-3, really good record, beat some good guys as well. But so Spivak, and Spivak's a bit younger, and he looks like he's getting better. His last fight looked decent against Marcin Tybura. Lost against Cyril Gane. I think Cyril Gane will beat Almeida. Beat Derek Lewis with a sub Derek Lewis, and that's hard. Like, people can get Derek Lewis down, but I feel like it's pretty hard for subbing because he just stands up, doesn't he? Lost to Tom Aspinall, who hasn't, in the heavyweight division. Beat some other good experienced guys. Alexei Olenek, very experienced. Lost to Tybura back in 2020, and then just come back and win him. So it shows progression to me. Beat Tai Tuivasa too. Almeida, let's have a little quick look again. Beat Romanov, and I rate that Romanov. I think he's decent. Well, I thought he was decent. I thought he was going to be better than what. I thought he was going to be better, because when I first saw him, I thought this guy's going to be up there with. This guy's going to be up there, challenging for heavyweight title. This Romanov. He's only lost to Curtis Blades, but he got took down. Is it? Yeah, I guess he got took down on my fist. Beat Derek Lewis by decision. Yeah, so Blades took him down, ground and pound. I think Spivak could take him down. And other than that, really, who's he beat? He beat some decent guys, but a lot of Brazilians in there, hard to tell. I'm going to go with Spivak, me. Let's see what the odds are again. So it's 7 to 2, so he's over 3 to 1. That's what I'm going for. So Almeida versus Spivak. I'm going with Spivak, underdog. Hopefully he can get the win. Next fight, Prochazka versus Jamal Hill. Tough one, innit? Tough one. But he leaves himself open, doesn't he, Prochazka? And I think Hill's a bit tired here. But fuck me, it's hard, innit, this one. Because he's just mad, innit? Yeah, he's mad. He can pull some shit out and just... This one can go either way, can't it, really? Let's be honest. I think this will be a fight at night. It's going to be a sick fight. Sick fight at night, definitely. But I think you go with the consistency again. I think Jamal Hill's is going to be a little bit tighter. And I think he might catch Prochazka and drop him. So yeah, I'll go with Hill on that one. Next fight, Merab. Hey, we're getting through these faster now. Next fight, Merab versus Umar. You know, it's because I know the fighters, so I don't have to go looking in to every single fight. You know what I mean? I've got an idea in my head. It's when you don't know the guys, that's when you got to do a bit more digging in it. So next fight, Merab versus Umar. I don't know, you can go against Umar on this one. I think Merab's he's sick, innit? I like him. I'd rather Merab win. Better character, more charisma. Better entertainment for the sport. But fighting wise, skill wise, I think Umar's just more well rounded than him. But he can put pace on, can't he? He can put a pace on Merab. Can Umar keep up with the pace? It's that, innit? It doesn't matter who's better technically. It's when it gets to that and you get... It's like horse racing, isn't it? This is an analogy I use a lot. Like you have certain horses what prefer the good ground, and then certain horses what prefer the slow ground. And you can have the best horse, but if it's only running good and it's not used to running on the heavy, and you got a horse who's winning on the heavy, it mixes things up, doesn't it? It's who can perform better in the deep waters. Yeah. Who's he beat, Umar? Other than Corey Sandhagen, like, he's not fought anyone who level Merab, has he? So Merab could win, couldn't he? I feel like there's a good chance Merab can win this fight. There is a good fight. Merab could win this fight, isn't chance. Fucking hell. I actually thought going into the video that Umar, but when I think about it now, Merab could win. Let's have a look at the odds for this one, because that'll matter when it comes to betting anyway. So Merab's 2-1. But you... I think Umar's... I'm overthinking it, maybe. I'm just going to go with Umar on it. I think Merab could win, but I'll go with Umar. Next fight, Makhachev, Makhachev. I'm not even going to get into it. Makhachev, 12-1. I'm not going to bet on it. I had Makhachev beating Sarukian anyway. But now, yeah. I think Makhachev just does what he wants with him. So let's have a little add up on my definites, and then I'll tell you what odds we're getting on it. So Clayton recap now, yeah. So Clayton Carpenter versus Tagir Ulanbekov. You're getting over 2-1 on Clayton Carpenter. I guess people think what I think. Tagia's just come in from that team, that Magomedov team, and I think, yeah, he's probably going to get the edge. He lost to Tim Elliott a while ago, but Tim Elliott's decent. I rate him. He's good pace, Tim Elliott. So, but I'm going to go Tagia. Next fight, Ricky Tacios versus Bernardo Sapaj. I think Sapaj is the younger fighter. He comes from a decent gym. He's fought on decent shows. I'm going to go Sapaj. I think UFC will probably try to push him a little bit. Nakamura versus Murangafarov. I'm going to go who I think is probably the better wrestler in Nakamura, because I think they both got a puncher's chance. But I didn't even look at the odds. So it's 1 to 6. It's like, what's the point? Because it could go either, it could get chinned out of nowhere. So I'll just leave that one out. Well, I'll see if it boosts anything in a bit. And if it doesn't, I'll leave it out. Not putting a women fight in. Azamat Bekoev versus Zachary Reese. Don't know enough about him. I could look at the Tabology prediction. Sometimes I'll do that if I want to boost my odds a little bit and take a risk, more of a punt. But yeah, I'll probably just leave that one out. Grant Dawson versus Ferreira. So they were saying, remember before, Diego Ferreira could be a little bit of an underdog pick. He's pretty much just under 2 to 1. But Grant Dawson, he's got the wins on it. He's only lost against Bobby Green. Good grappler. Another one. Diego Ferreira's fought the who's who, the winner. But he's good, Grant Dawson. I'm going to go Grant Dawson on that, probably. I'll keep the Diego Ferreira one in the back pocket as a bit of an underdog pick. What I'll put on a separate bet. Bogdan Guskov versus Billy Elikana. So we said, I think Guskov's fought the better guys and got more experience. 1 to 4, is it worth putting on? We'll check. I'll put it in and then I'll see. I'll take it out and I'll see what difference we're getting at the end from our accumulator, or parlays, Americans call it. Jayton Almeida versus Sergey Spivak. So this is my biggest underdog pick. I think it'll probably fuck me up. This is probably the one that fucks my bet over, but also this is the one where this will boost the odds for the bet as well. So it does come in and make the odds a hell of a lot higher. And I just think he could do it. I think he really could do it. He also could get twatted and make me look like a right fucking idiot on my first video. So anyway, I'm going to go with it. Yeah. Next fight, Talbot versus Barcelos. I think Talbot wins it, but I'm not putting on 1 to 12. What's the point? Kevin Holland versus Derrida. I'm going to go with Derrida. It's pretty much both evens. Consistency in Derrida. Kevin Holland is a bit inconsistent in there. Wouldn't be surprised if he won. But definitely wouldn't be surprised if he lost either. So I'm going to go with Derrida, more consistent. Yuri versus Jamal Hill. Same kind of thing. I think Yuri's more creative in it, but more open to getting hit. Jamal Hill a bit more methodical. Well, your standard. A bit tighter. Wouldn't be surprised if either of them won again, to be honest, but I think Jamal Hill's got more ways to win. Well, no, that's the wrong thing to say, but I think Jamal. Merab versus Umar. I think Merab could definitely win, but I can't look past. I think Umar's got the future. I think Merab's time now. Yeah, I think it's Umar's time. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Umar. And then Makhachev versus Marcano. You go Makhachev, but what's point 1 to 12. So yeah, no point in that. So let's see what we're getting now. We're getting 62 to 1, and that's on Paddy Power. It's probably what I use most. So if you put tenner on, you're getting 620 back plus your 10, so 633. So let's have a look at these high odd ones. If I take that Guskov off, drops it down to 49 to 1, so you're getting 500 back if that comes in. So it's probably just, you may as well take that one off. So what we're left with, I'll go through the bet. Right, so we got, it's not going to be in order, is it? So we've got Tagil and Bekov, we've got Sapaj, Grant Dawson, Ridder, Nurmagomedov and Spivak. And then we're going to get 500 back if we put a tenner on that. Which isn't too bad really, is it? Obviously it could go either way. You're not always going to win the bets. But that's probably what I'm going to put on with today, yeah. So, butchered this first video, but I'm just going to get it up anyway. The first one on the belt. And then we can see how many views we get on it and stuff like that. And then go from there. Next time I'll be more prepared. And yeah, give you a little bit better insight. I feel like I've rushed this because I've been putting it off all week and I've been busy. And I'm just not left myself enough time. No one's probably going to see this now anyway. But if you do and you like it, subscribe. I've not got any subscribers yet. And then stick with me and watch my growth on the channel. It'll get better, trust me. Yeah, I'm already feeling more comfortable talking to camera now. I felt like an absolute dickhead earlier on, so I'm already getting better. Yeah, so bet responsibly. Don't put money on you can't afford to bet with. Chuck a few quid on it. A £5 will get you 250 back. 10 will get you 500 back. Let's see if we can get it in. Good luck, mate. Till next time.